You guys have had, I think, one scholarship player leave the other transfer portal. Obviously, there's a lot of people going in. Why do you think you guys have done such a good job this year retaining players and keeping everybody kind of in the fold? And I guess, thinking that there's a future, obviously, here in Michigan.
Yeah, well, after the 2020 season, we kind of took a look around, and anyone who wanted to leave, free to leave. But those who stayed, the saying, those who stay will be champions. And those who stayed, as we got into spring ball, winter workouts, summer workouts, and ultimately fall camp, you kind of looked around and you said, this is the team. This is the only group of men and coaches that will believe in us, because no one outside of this building is going to believe in us. So we kind of took that upon ourselves, and it's dubbed Michigan versus everybody, but that's how it was at the beginning of the season. It was us versus everyone else, because they weren't going to believe in us. So we kind of put it upon ourselves. We built the belief system. We worked internally a lot, and we just kind of focused on ourselves. And I think that culture and that energy has really built a bond with this team. And I've never been closer with a group of men than in my 5 years here than this team right here. I love everyone on. I'm comfortable going up to everybody, talking to them. So I think that kind of culture really built up throughout all the offseason, ultimately transitioned into the season as well.
How important is the player retention, I guess, you think, to the team's success?
I think it's big. I think it's very important for especially from a coach's perspective. You come in with a guy and you want to see his development, I think, and so being able to retain players and being able to implement them into the own offensive scheme is very important, and being able to build them how you want to build them for their success is something that's big too. So when you leave, you take the chances to go into a new system, a new position, and it can be tough to adjust. But being able to keep players here and keep players here that want to play and want to grind and succeed is something that's big. And I think that's part of part of recruiting, it's part of coaching, and it's something that's big for this team.
Leonard, before the season, a lot of people talked about on the defense, Don Brown moving on from Don Brown. In a sense, did this group need a change also at its lead, going from Ed to Sharon this season?
Yeah, I think it was a change for sure. Obviously, whenever you change coaches, the dynamic changed, the room changed a little bit. But I just think it was something that we needed as an offensive line. I think the new defensive coordinator was huge for us. It was kind of bringing a fresh, new, kind of young perspective, and I think the same happened for the offensive line. And I'm not knocking any of the coaches previously. They're all great coaches, but I think at that time it's what we needed. We needed kind of a fresh perspective, a new look, some new energy, some could say. And so I think that was a huge part of our success. Coach Moore brings energy every single day. He pushes us to our limits. He really has done a great job of building up the young guys too. You can see that in who's gotten in for some games this year. So it was just the right time for kind of new perspective, bringing in new energy, and he's done a great job.
How many times can you bench the Moore
Oh yeah. I wish. Maybe in parts, but not the whole thing. It's a little too much. So.
Adam?
Andrew, judging on base where you guys have come from, and these, particularly the past 5 years, for those who maybe haven't followed Michigan football closely or think that they know what Michigan football is, what does this whole moment mean, and what is it transforming Michigan into football? What are people that maybe don't know Michigan football, what do they need to know about the Wolverines?
Mm-hmm. I think first off is just the tradition of Michigan football. It's a great tradition. We have a whole museum dedicated to it. It's something that drives this program, and so I think one of the biggest pains of last season was obviously losing, but also letting down all the people who have come before us is something that's huge for us. And so when we were able to kind of beat Ohio State, Coach Harbaugh said this too. It's not just the men in the locker room that are happy, but it was everyone that came before you, everyone that was watching, everyone that was a part of the program in the past. They're happy for you too. So I think one of the biggest things about Michigan football is just the tradition within it. There's a tradition of great offensive linemen, producing great offensive line units and great offensive linemen. So to be a part of that as well kind of is something that's huge for us. And Coach Moore's done a great job in shaping the offensive line and shaping the young guys too to have great offensive line units to come before. So I think those two things are big things for me about Michigan football. And if someone doesn't know too much about Michigan football, I'd highly recommend looking into it, because it's a great tradition. It's a great team to root for.